The research station orbited Virelia Prime like a silent sentinel. I had arrived weeks earlier as part of a human delegation sent to study Lytherian social systems, a culture so alien that even seasoned xenobiologists found them baffling. I thought I knew what to expect: observation, note-taking, and the occasional formal interaction. I was wrong. It started with Kale. My alien friend, a slender being with iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to shimmer with internal light, had invited me to visit his living quarters. I assumed it would be a brief social call, a polite gesture to make me feel welcome among his people. I underestimated the Lytherians, and I certainly underestimated his sister. The arrival. Kale's quarters were unlike any human architecture I had ever seen. The walls pulsed faintly with soft bioluminescence, adjusting to the room's ambient sounds. The air smelled faintly metallic, tinged with a sweet fragrance that I would later realize was unique to Lytherian physiology. "Welcome," Kale said in his melodic voice. "Please, make yourself comfortable." I glanced around, trying to appear confident, though my heart raced. I had studied their culture, their rituals, their strict hierarchy, but nothing in my training had prepared me for the intensity of a Lytherian stare. Then she appeared. Lysera. Kale's sister. She moved with a predatory grace, each step deliberate. Her skin shimmered a soft violet, faintly luminous even in the dim room. Her eyes, larger than any human's, glimmered with a light that was both hypnotic and unnerving. She didn't speak at first, simply observing me with a mixture of curiosity and something else I couldn't name. The lock. I was mid-sentence when Lysera moved. Too quickly for me to react, her hand slid across the doorway and the subtle click of a lock echoed through the room. I froze. You locked the door?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Her lips curved into a smile, a dangerous and captivating gesture. "You belong to me now," she whispered. I swallowed hard, realizing this was no ordinary visit. My instincts screamed to run, yet the magnetic pull of her gaze rooted me to the spot. "I am Kale, is this?" I stammered. Kale's face betrayed no surprise. In fact, he seemed almost amused. "She has particular ways of welcoming guests," he said lightly, as if that explained everything. Lysera stepped closer. Her presence was overwhelming, the air seemed to vibrate around her. "I've been watching you," she murmured, her voice lowering. "I know your thoughts, your hesitations, and your courage." My pulse quickened. "Watching me? How?" Her smile deepened. "Lytherians see more than humans realize. We sense intentions, emotions, even the subtle flickers of thought. You are intriguing." The challenge. I backed up slightly, testing my limits against her dominance. "Lysera, this isn't appropriate." She raised a hand, silencing me. "Do not speak, human. I decide what is appropriate. And right now, I decide you stay." Her violet eyes seemed to pierce through every doubt I had. There was authority there, an unshakable claim that I couldn't ignore. For a moment, I considered trying to force the door, but I quickly realized the futility. Lytherian locks weren't mechanical, they responded to intent and energy. Any attempt to break it would have been futile and potentially dangerous. "You belong to me now," she repeated, her voice soft yet commanding. It wasn't a threat. It was a decree. I realized then that my life had changed in a single moment. This encounter was no casual flirtation or playful teasing, it was a test, and I had no choice but to meet it. Understanding her. Over the next hour, I tried to understand Lysera's intentions. She moved around me with fluid grace, examining my reactions, gauging my confidence, and, most unnervingly, my emotions. "You are tense," she said. "Your mind races, your heart pounds. But beneath it, courage." "Courage?" I repeated, incredulous. "I'm just trying to survive this." She laughed softly, a sound that echoed like music in the room. "Survival is irrelevant. Humans fear what they do not understand. But you are different. You do not flinch at the unknown. You act." Her words both unnerved and intrigued me. I had read about Lytherian courtship rituals, about their need for dominance and submission to balance power and respect, but this was something else. She wasn't testing me socially. She was testing my essence. You do not know what you are, she whispered, leaning closer. Her proximity was overwhelming. I could feel her energy, her presence pressing against me like a living force. And yet, I claim you. The bond forms. Hours passed. We spoke, not with casual words, but with a deeper form of communication. Lytherians could convey intent and emotion through microgestures, subtle shifts in tone and energy. I learned to read her almost instinctively. You are not like the others, she said finally, her hand brushing my shoulder in a gesture both casual and intimate. Most humans would run. Most humans would resist. But you stay, even when fear grips you. I don't understand, I admitted. Why me? Because, she said, eyes locking onto mine, you see me not just my power, not just my form, but me. And that is rare. In that moment, I understood. Lytherians were drawn to honesty, to integrity, to courage, but also to the ability to see beyond the exterior. I wasn't just a human visitor. I was someone who could be a partner, an equal in this strange, alien world. The decision. The lock clicked open suddenly, a subtle hum signaling that Lysera had released me. Yet I did not move to leave. You may go, she said softly. But you won't. Not yet. Not until you understand what it means to belong to someone like me. I nodded slowly. I think I understand. Her smile was enigmatic, triumphant, and gentle all at once. Good. Then we begin, not with ceremony, not with ritual, but with understanding. With trust. And with what comes naturally when two beings choose each other. I realized then that this encounter would shape my life in ways I could never have imagined. The human protocols, the cultural boundaries, the safety nets I had relied on, they were gone. Replaced with a test of courage, intuition, and heart. A new beginning. By the time I left Kale and Lysera's quarters, the stars had shifted, casting Virelia Prime in a new light. I was no longer merely an observer. I was part of her world now. I had been tested, claimed, and most surprisingly welcomed. Lysera's final words echoed in my mind, you belong to me now. They were not a threat, nor a warning, they were a promise. And I knew I would follow that promise, willingly, into whatever future awaited us in the galaxy. That night, as I looked out at the stars, I realized that my life had irrevocably changed. I was no longer a visitor in an alien world, I was part of it, and part of someone extraordinary. And somewhere deep inside, I understood that this was only the beginning of an adventure that would span planets, battles, and the most uncharted territories of the heart.